3 is a magic number. We've got a trio of stories for Simon to pour over. They're not transfer-related, Simon.
Feature?
It will be, yes. It's soon to be.
Are we getting any of this, though?
No, I don't think so. See, we talk about money matters all the time, and you and I get the short change of hee-haw.
Every time.
Simon, so let's go to it. This one is intriguing. I'm very keen to see how you tiptoe through this one, because they're listening out there. Arsenal and Manchester United, fair to say, going very well. Arsenal in particular. Whatever happened to the Kroenke out, Glazers out sentiments? I mean, should Manchester United and Arsenal fans, Simon, be giving some credit to their owners?
Well, I think the Arsenal fans probably are now by their silence. And if they've muzzled that ghastly little appendage of a canker sore called Arsenal Fan TV, then they'll be even more happy. But the bottom line is that everything starts, begins and ends with the team's performance. And I know that the Man United fans will say, is it green and gold? Will say that we were doing green and gold long time before the success dwindled away. We've been saying it forever, but it's got more and more vociferous, more and more vitriolic and more acute as the team's performances have declined, and somewhat similar with Arsenal. So with that in mind, doesn't matter how loud these supporters' trusts shout, it will always be the performances on the pitch that either mute the sound or amplify it. And now you've got Manchester United going through this recent situation where I think they've hit rock bottom and they're starting to bounce again. They've had all the fiasco around Ronaldo. The hard dyed-in-the-wall Man United fans that will never have the Glazers, no matter what they do, will still be there. And those that are sort of ambivalent to some extent, want their team to do really well, and are sort of margining the camp that they don't like the Glazers, they'll sit and they won't be so vociferous. But on the Arsenal side of things, how can you have an argument for Stan Kroenke at this moment in time? You had an argument before. I was at the top of the queue as far as Arsenal were concerned, saying this is an owner that revels in mediocrity because the ultimate situation of getting towards the top end of the table means more financial investment, and the risk-reward analysis for this fella doesn't stack up. Yeah. But you can't say that now. No. So that means, despite all the protestations, despite all the adjusting of people's perspectives or adjusting of our perspectives, the next time a Man United Supporters Trust comes on and goes, last chance saloon, it all comes down to the team's performance.
I think United fans should be thanking God that the Glazers got Ten Hag in. I mean,
well, I don't think they're ever. Listen, I don't think they should be thanking the Glazers for anything, because the Glazers have profited massively out of this football club. So there's nothing to thank them for, and nothing to sit there and applaud them for. But I certainly don't think there's anything particularly to vilify them for to the level that they do. Can they do better? Should they have regenerated this stadium? Of course they should. Should they shut down ridiculous arguments from barrack room lawyers like Gary Neville that the training facilities aren't good enough? Of course they should. Should they have made better managerial appointments and not allowed it to stagnate under certain people? Should they have taken Ed Woodward out? All of these are fair criticisms. Yeah. But to turn it into the nature they've turned it into is an extreme. Yeah. So with that in mind, both of these clubs don't have anything to thank their owners for. Yeah. They just should perhaps have the balance between thanking them and vilifying them. Yeah, cut the protest maybe after what we've seen. I want to move on. Referees being told to crack down on goalkeepers using unfair tactics to put off penalty kick takers. This all comes after the antics of Argentina's Aston Villa's Emiliano Martinez during the World Cup final shootout. I mean, we all saw what he did, trying to distract the French penalty kick takers. Yeah. I mean, I thought it was out of order. I really did. I thought it's funny, isn't it? There was a huge lack of dignity about it. But it's funny how things change and go down in folklore. It was us. It was quaint and funny and interesting the way Bruce Grobbler wobbled his legs on the goal line when Liverpool were playing in the European Cup in 1984, whenever it was, because that was our team. And when it's done in the situation where other teams are doing it, it's not necessarily against us, then ultimately people have a different view. I didn't like what he did, and I didn't think it was appropriate for him to have done it, but the only reason it was inappropriate for him to have done it is because he was allowed to do it. Yeah. Referees, knowing what there's at stake, of course it's not the goalkeeper's job to make it easy for the penalty taker. It's the goalkeeper's job to do whatever he can to save a ball, but that shouldn't be allowed to morph into gamesmanship, shouldn't be allowed into kicking balls away or doing whatever else he did and dominating that particular moment in time. There's two kinds of penalties. There's the penalty that someone's earned a penalty as a result of being able to score a goal and stop from doing it, and then there's a penalty shootout, and they're kind of two different things. Yes, I agree. Because in a penalty shootout, there's no someone's not being consequenced for being denied an opportunity. It's just the culmination and a vehicle to get an outcome in a game. Even then, I still think the ability to be able to wage psychological warfare by doing things that delay the penalty or fundamentally disrupt the person walking up, but in the end, the one thing you can control in this world is your own mind most of the time.
Yeah, of course.
So it's up to the penalty taker not to be fazed by it. So I do think that the referee should step in, intervene, stop goalkeepers from getting away with being able to do what they want to do with the ball, hold it, not give it down, dig up the penalty spot, do whatever they feel like pleased like doing. Stop all that. But then it'll still come down to the penalty taker having the bottle.
Well, that's it.
To miss a penalty,
I mean,
unlike Harry Kane.
If you've buried your penalty, you don't give a damn about what Martinez was doing. If you've missed it, you do.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, none of us can imagine what it's like to walk up in front of the world's media, albeit you're only conscious of what's in the stadium, but walk up in front of all of these people to take a penalty. But that's when you have to put your big boy pants on because you get paid the big bucks, don't you?
Exactly. Final one, and it involves Jose Mourinho. His Roma lost on Sunday to Napoli by 2-1. His 60th birthday celebrations, it was reported yesterday that Mourinho might well be open to a return to the Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
Might well be open to a return to Chelsea further down the line. I mean, has that ship sailed?
I'm open for a date with Margot Robbie. It doesn't mean I'm going to get one, does it?
No.
I mean, that ship has sailed. I'm a huge Mourinho fan. I mean, I don't slobber and dribble over him as much as you do when he comes in.
I did not.
But I do like seeing him. I think he was a manager that was a product of his times, and I do think things have evolved on slightly. Do I think he could do a job in the Premier League for a side? Of course he could. Do I think he's now, after the Man United debacle and probably the Tottenham debacle, a commodity that would attract a club that would be fitting of Mourinho's image of himself? Because his image of himself is Chelsea. There is not a parallel universe in your lifetime or mine when Todd Bowley is going to be knocking on Jose Mourinho's door for a management role. I mean, I would imagine, albeit that inveterate winner in Roberto Martinez has gone to manage Portugal, that somewhere along the line Mourinho is going to go to Portugal to manage, but I don't see him managing in the Premier League again. Not at the level you would associate with Jose Mourinho.
No,
if you're asking Jose Mourinho to manage a Nottingham Forest, then I can see that with all due respect to Nottingham Forest and Steve Cooper. But if you're suggesting he can manage Manchester United, Manchester City, Liverpool, Tottenham, any of those sides, Arsenal, any of the ones that are competing, Newcastle that will be competing, I very, very much doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, he's had his day, surely. He's had his day here.
Well, by the way, this Roma side aren't doing bad. I know we like to write Mourinho off and we like to vilify him and we like to put him in...
They're not doing great. They won 11 and 20, they're 6th.
Well, they're okay. And, you know, he's got the best out of Tammy Abraham. The most recent set of form has been pretty good. I know they lost on the weekend, but they've been doing okay. So if Roma finish 5th or 4th, it'll be an upgrade on what the previous guy did, and I forget his name, he was a well-known manager that was there for a period of time. But the ownership model in Roma has ambitions.
Fonseca was there for a while.
That's right. And he was always in and around the sort of 5th spot. So an upgrade from there. Mourinho's doing a decent job. He's still a very, very good manager, still an enigmatic character, and still value for money. Just, I doubt, at the very top of the Premiership tree. I
think so. Bit of a strange team photo. Mourinho insisted being taken after the game at the weekend when they lost to Napoli.
Napoli are a good side, don't they?
They all lined up and they all looked suitably glum in the dressing room. Mourinho looked like the glummest, if there's such a word. What a team, what a performance, what a spirit, he tweeted.
Juxtapose. Basically what he's doing is saying that we performed very highly against a very decent side, so let's remember what we are.
Yeah.
Just a different perspective, isn't it?
I know what you are. You bow. I
don't bow to anyone.
Feet.
The only person I've bowed to recently, in fairness to me, and it was particularly fanboyish, was Carl Froch, wasn't it? That was particularly appalling.
Oh, that was particularly
on
sickening.
my part.
Yeah. I love you. I rate you. I rate you.
I feel
more.
bad. I feel bad. But then again, as I said to Spencer, if you spend all day with Spencer doing boxing videos, you'd rather spend time with Matt Hancock.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.